You convinced me.
All
I
right.
suppose.
Who would like to give a quick recap of last session?
City's in lockdown. We did a little oopsie. Got told a little too much information. I got hired to bring back Bugbear Man and speak with him when he's dead, which is going to be a little awkward since we're supposed to bring him out alive. And I also signed a contract saying I'm not going to revive him, but in exchange I'll get the body. Tavro and Gideon brought in Krenko's body, and then we're like, oh wow, we need to revivify. What's that? A cleric just down the hall? What a coincidence. And then I revivified him, and then he melted into the floor. Oh yeah, and then the other people
Gideon sawed off all his body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Well, I didn't want to go over the fun parts too much.
That's fair. Anyway, Tavro just has his mouth agape and he's not moving at all.
That is pretty much how Captain Machine is right now as well for a few seconds, and then he goes, "What did you just do?"
I'm just gonna look down at like all the stuff and be like, I casted that correctly. That was not a corpse.
And you see as Yusuf, the other knight who is here, kind of walks up, starts looking over the remainder of the corpse, or what was there, and he kind of goes through it and he goes, yes, I can attest he did cast Revivify, and it seems he did so on, well, as he said, not exactly a corpse. More, how do you say, synthetic. Maybe Simic doing? They're always coming up with experiments like this.
Now, I can understand your disappointment, but I could throw in perhaps a detect magic into this to help you figure out what exactly happened, because, well, I myself am now curious as well as to what happened to this corpse. Or not a corpse.
And he just looks at you, and he is clearly upset, and he goes, "You nothing right now. Ravnica, you detect magic. See what this is." And he's just gonna start, like, nod his head and start ritual casting detect magic. Your uncle is staring daggers at you, Fawks. And Gideon and Tavro, as you're kind of standing around watching this, Captain Machine turns to you, Gideon, and says, "Go tell Meredith and the angels outside. We're going in lockdown."
You got it, Chief.
Well, if I'm not needed, and then I'm just gonna like step out into the hallway. I'm just gonna like start touching the stone, like turning it on and off, like in Phasmophobia where you press like the on and off button for the global chat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually.
Yeah, so Kai, you're kind of like standing outside down the street a little bit, just like getting a coffee and a newspaper while waiting for any indication, and then your sending stone just starts buzzing rapidly.
Can I just say into it what it is it time?
I'm not gonna speak verbally, so I'm just gonna turn them off and hope that Kai understands that I cannot speak into it.
Okay, so I remember you say if it went wild that it is time to distract. So how far away did I say I was? So I was not in sight of these
Yeah,
guys.
you did say that you were like far enough away that you would not be conspicuous, so I figured you'd be like pretty much like a block or two away.
Yeah.
You're in the second precinct, which is a pretty like urbanized area. So there's like cafes and stuff that it would not be weird for you to like get a coffee, or even like benches where you could like get a drink and then just sit on one and it wouldn't necessarily look strange. Other than people for the most part are not out in the streets right now.
Okay. As the sending stone starts going wild, I would like to just like run to the entrance of the precinct.
All right. Yeah, you're a pretty fast runner. I don't think Gideon is sprinting to the front of the hall. I'd say you're getting towards the entrance of the building right around the same time Gideon is getting up to Meredith. So as you approach, the two angels just kind of like look down at you and go, "Halt! What is your business here?"
Oh god, the Rakdos, they're causing trouble over that way.
Give me a deception check.
Deceive.
What are these things' passive insight? I do think it might be higher than a 11. Yeah, their passive is just a little bit higher than that. So they look down at you, and like the one closer to you kind of like draws her blade and points it down at you and goes, "This is no time for jokes, citizen." And Gideon, at this point is when you come bursting out of the front doors.
Hello, it's me. So I kind of turn to each of the angels to, like, I kind of look at the angels and then I look at Kai and I go, and then I say, I've been reported to inform you, just kind of gesturing to the angels and then kind of looking at Kai again, that we are going into lockdown.
And the angels kind of like look back at you, look at each other, and then just, yo, citizen, move along before you have any trouble. Apparently we have our own issues to deal with.
And I just throw my hands up and slowly take a step back.
And here I was, a chump, thinking you would be like, "You are gonna execute someone I need to interview. Get me in there."
Yeah, see, if they're going on lockdown, I'm not trying to fuck with them and make it so that they're gonna execute him quicker.
Yeah.
Alright, so Gideon, as you kind of announce the angels that they're going on lockdown, they float towards the door and they prepare to seal it up. I assume you're going back inside for that.
Yeah, probably should.
Before they seal it up, Kai, is there anything else you would like to do?
Not that I think won't antagonize them.
Alright. And if I recall correctly, Clara made 2 sets of sending stones and linked them all together, correct?
No, she only made one.
She
Because
ended
she
up
made
only
that
making
ring of
one.
spell
Okay.
storing.
Right. Never mind.
But while Gideon goes outside to warn the angels, can I speak to Captain Machine real quick?
Sure. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'll finally forcibly close my mouth from being agape, and just step forward, and be like, Captain Machine, I don't know, it just happened, but on the odds that wasn't Krenko, there was more to the hideout that he was at, and from some of the people I was there with, Gideon, for example, supposedly there was a point at which we could not pass because there was some mechanized construct that was horrific. But perhaps past there is where the real Krenko were. Well, I don't know much about this, but perhaps past there could yield some answers. If you'd like, I'd volunteer to go forth and fight that construct so that we might be able to go forth.
A construct, you say? And it was guarding further hideouts?
Yes, it was down a large hole, and it knew Krenko specifically as it spoke out before it realized that we were there.
And did you engage this thing?
I was focused on getting Krenko's body out of there, so I was on the upper floors, but apparently, while the others tarried about, it came out and attempted to fight them. They only ran, though. There was no actual confrontation. Once they, to my understanding, once they left the bottom floor, it, oh, gotcha. Once they left that bottom floor, it seems that the construct backed off completely. It may be guarding something very important.
Understood. These people you were with, they ran, but do you have an estimate of how many we would have to send down to fight it if we took that path, depending on what Ravnica finds?
While we were still, while Krenko was dead, it yelled out asking for, and I kind of like shiver for a second and just go, like, an offering. So we threw down a one of the other goblins that was there, and the noises. Oh, the noises! It sounded like some kind of whirring. At the same time, almost as if the flesh was being torn instantly. I think it would take perhaps a substantial force, or at least a well-trained force. But and I like before I stop talking, I go. But if you would send me, I kind of like just want to like cast like Sacred Flame, but like in my hand, if that makes sense, and just go. I've taken my first steps towards becoming an Ember Mage.
I was not aware you were going along that path. Always good to have more healers. And
Indeed.
better for the front lines. Very well. We'll see what this turns up. As I'm sure you're well aware, we don't exactly have forces to spare at the moment.
And I kind of just sigh and go, indeed. But I will tell him where this manufactory is. 'Cause I think that's what it originally was.
Yeah, it was like a manufacturing warehouse.
Yeah.
So he kind of like jots down where you say it was, and around when you wrap up having this discussion, the Orzhov Knight, not the one you're used to hanging out with, kind of
Right.
Looks up and goes, yeah, so I've been able to identify it. It is, it was a construct of sorts, but not exactly mechanical. No artifice. Lots of necromancy and conjuration magic. Keeping it together. Now, I don't know exactly where this came from, but this was never truly alive. Just magic holding it together. When it was...
Alvaro kind of like opens his mouth again and just like, ugh.
When it was revived, that magic was triggered and, well, dissolved. Now there isn't really much left other than traces. But I'm afraid we won't get any interrogation from this, as there's no soul to bring back and question. And the captain kind of looks at him and goes, Fucking hell. I knew it was too good to be true when this guy was brought in. Regardless, Tavro, you fought something alive down there. And if there's another construct that was protecting it, you're right, this may need more investigation. We'll
Indeed,
see what we... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I wouldn't have interrupted him. I just thought he was done.
I'll see what support I can drum up for you after the executions. Depending on how those go. Well, we're not marching on Rixmati until the Parahelion returns. You'll have a few days at least. I'm sure I can get in... What rank are you?
I believe I'm rank 1. But I am like a half. Was it Voyak?
Wojek?
Wojak, yeah.
Yeah, so you're both like... I'm pretty sure everyone's like rank 1.5. Like, they've all kind of started their quests of becoming rank 2. But let me just check something real fast. All right.
Why do we get dinged? Ah, yes.
You're not a full Ember Mage or Brigadier yet, but I'm sure we can get some soldiers under your command for this expedition. But we
And
need
I'll
all the
ha-
manpower we can get going into Rixmati soon. If this is a beast or machine or whatever, it's going to cause too many casualties. This will have to be something we revisit after the war. In the end, Krenko is nothing compared to the entire cult of Rakdos.
And Tavro kind of like, first of all, when he says that, like, he'll give him like a small group to command, he kind of like just like does like a bow while he's still talking. But let's go. Completely understood. But just for the report, I do have confirmation that this undead Krenko, it did in fact have a personality. It wasn't just how you say, on autopilot. It even took someone hostage, or perhaps was trying to kidnap it. Them. Not it.
And this hostage, where are they now?
I got some information from them. I could bring them in if you're interested. They are
Well,
also a goblin.
If it had a personality, but it wasn't alive, that doesn't line up with my understanding of how these things work.
Likewise, which is why I thought it was the real thing, for which I do apologize.
Well, the corpse may not be what you fought.
Perhaps.
This is a goblin who's evaded capture and containment many times. I'm sure he has tricks to avoid it.
Indeed.
False
Not
corpse
to
may be
mention
one
that.
of them.
Indeed, not to mention that it was although we cleared out the warehouse, it was actually the kidnapped goblin in question that had done the final blow.
Yes. Bring that one in. I have questions for them.
Will do. And of course, once we actually do get to Rixmati, I am I am available for an assignment.
And you said it's a goblin who killed him.
Yes.
So one of his gang members. This might be... You might have fallen for a bigger ruse than you realize.
I hope not, but I leave it to you, Commander.
Captain.
Captain, sorry. Fuck.
The commander is dead.
Yes. Tavro would have known that. I'm just an idiot.
Yeah. So, after a few minutes of discussion there, as well as, everyone inside, as well as, Kai on the outside, the lockdown, is more than just, closing up the building. You can start to see, red arcane sigils on the windows that kind of tint them out, making it impossible to see through into the building from the outside. And around this time, everyone inside the building just kind of hears "lockdown complete." And with that, Captain Machine kind of walks back out into the hallway and goes, "All right, knights, you're up. We're under lockdown, and Fawks, it seems you are not to blame for what just happened. So I will allow you to continue on and perform the work that is required of you by the Orzhov and by the Boros. We have a few prisoners downstairs. Not all of them are Actos. The guards down there will instruct you on... Well, they'll do the execution. They'll tell you what to ask. My understanding is you get 3 questions, correct?
Indeed.
Very well. They should all be briefed on what to use you as proxy for. Tavro, Gideon, you're here. Why don't you lead them down to the prisons?
Of course.
All right.
And the prisons are over here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's the only place we've
And
gone.
as you head through here, there are 2 guards who kind of stop you and go, before anybody goes into the prison, you gotta sign in. I know you signed in at the front, but we're taking some extra precautions at the moment.
Of course. And I gave him my thing.
All right. The 4 of you...
Oh, okay. I thought that was behind a wall. I didn't realize that was a counter.
Oh! No, that is quite like a guard booth.
Yeah, no,
where,
I see it now. It was just...
you all stamp down, and then if you want to head down these stairs, that should warp you to the prison.
Huzzah.
Which
Yep.
I am going to activate, and I am also going to remove vision restrictions because there's nothing I'm really trying to hide, and that will let the people who aren't actively in the scene see.
Whoa.
So I believe everyone should be able to see the map now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. As you are heading down, we get the other knight.
Thanks.
What's he doing now? Oh, he's on the table. He's trying to get lettuce.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck, lettuce.
Come on. You don't even have a lot of what? No, you do.
And
Yeah.
as you make your way downstairs into the prisons, you can see that they're kind of laid out into two different
Oh
sections.
god, there's two Gideons.
Oh fuck.
Blue people.
I've multiplied.
See, that's her
Okay.
druid feat, is that she actually knows how to go through mitosis.
Yeah, she just buds.
And that's my cantrip.
Your cantrip is multiply yourself.
Can druids learn mirror image?
No, it's not mirror image. It's not an image. It is another fully functional one of them.
Oh, just like Krenko.
Yeah. Oh shit. Get her. Or get him.
So, as you head down into the prisons, it's kind of separated into two blocks, and on one side, another soldier kind of calls out to you and goes, "Gideon,
Yes.
are they?" And you recognize this as someone you've worked with in the past. It's just a human soldier named Alec, and he goes, "These the Orzhov for the interrogation?"
Yes, sir.
Very good. All right, hurry in now. And you see as he kind of like unlocks the gate, opens it up, and then as soon as you're all through, he closes it and then locks it again. He goes, "All right. We have 3 primed for execution. We got a bugbear, a goblin, and, well, I'm sure you've heard about that plague going around lately. Someone who seems to be involved in that. We've decided to include them in the execution. Not related to the Rakdos, although they used to belong to it. But, no, we have some questions about how they've interacted with the plague. They know something. They're not letting it out. So, looks like we have 2 clerics. We can start with the 2 Rakdos members. We have the bugbear and the goblin. Gideon, you've interacted with Ramthi before. Kill her and I'll take the bugbear.
All right.
So, Ramthi is down here, and he hands you a key to unlock the cell as well. And you see as he heads up, and you can see that both of them, normally these are like cells that you can kind of roam around with. They've been chained to the wall so that they cannot resist.
Oh.
And Alec kind of turns around, sees you following Fawks, and goes, "All right, here with me. Gideon, you get the other night." And as Alec opens the door, he takes out a longsword and goes to impale Baleem, assuming nobody stops him. He successfully impales Baleem. And as Baleem collapses against his chains, Fawks, you're kind of trained enough, you can almost see the soul leaving the corpse as the life bleeds out from it. Baleem is dead.
As he sort of passes, I'm just gonna walk up and say, "Now, if you give me a minute, I can start the preparations." Oh God, he's gone.
That wasn't supposed to. Yeah. I forgot I have one that makes them disappear so that it doesn't clutter the screen during combat.
Oh my god. Speak with Dead have a casting time? No, it does not. So, I am going to start casting Speak with Dead. How crazy would it be to sneak in a Gentle Repose and then finish casting Speak with Dead?
Can I get the descriptions of both of those?
I'll let them post the description.
You know what? I can just check. So, Gentle Repose is an action or a ritual, and so is Speak with Dead, correct?
Yeah.
Speak with Dead is 3rd level?
Yeah.
No,
third
Speak
level.
with Dead is just an action. There is no ritual option. So you want to sneak in a Gentle Repose. You know what? I'm going to say it's less of a stealth check, more of a deception check. Because both of them are verbal, somatic, and material component spells. You're not going to be able to get away with sneaking it in, but you might be able to do it in a way where he can't really tell what you're doing. So I would say either deception or performance.
Some states have like.
What was the first one? Perception?
Deception, like lying.
Deception. Okay, yeah. Somehow, I don't have deception as a, you know.
And you kind of play up the ritual as you're doing it, and you're going through the various pieces. Like you're putting down the coins on its eyes, you're spreading around the salt, you're burning the incense, and he's just looking at you, and it's pretty clear this guy is not a spellcaster, and he is just watching you, and he doesn't even watch for all that long, and then a kind of ghostly apparition of the upper torso of Balim kind of rises out of the corpse, and as that happens, he kind of unfolds a piece of paper and goes, "All right, we have some questions. If I understood correctly, you're the one who has to actually ask them. So I will ask you, you will ask the corpse, and do you have to repeat them back to me, or do I get to hear everything?"
I believe he's able to hear it. That's me talking as a player. I mean, it says the corpse can speak, so I'm gonna assume it speaks normally.
Yep. All right. So first question. Who was it that hired you to kill all those people?
I will just repeat the question verbatim.
All right. And it's weird. He doesn't really respond as you would expect. He just goes, "The Lizard King who guards the gate has many who wish to fall." And then Alec just looks forward and he goes, Fuck, I was hoping for a name or something. You know what? That
Oh, man, the
does...
lizard king that guards the gate, that's pretty ambiguous.
Yeah.
He goes, well, we were hoping for damning evidence on Yoser. That's probably close enough. Second, where did you hide the body of your most recent kill?
Yeah, I'll do that one verbatim again too.
Yeah. Fed to beast-like machine under the sewers of a goblin king.
Hey, that's where my most recent kill went too.
Relatable.
And the final question, as Alec is just like scratching his head, and he kind of like turns to you and he's like, do you have any way to make this stuff less cryptic? More like a straightforward yes, no?
Sometimes it's in the question, sometimes it's how much they're willing to give up. What are the other questions you have? I might be able to ad-lib and get something a bit more specific.
Well, the final question we had for him has to relate a little bit to upcoming events. Where did he leave his key rune?
And yeah, I'll ask that one too.
Alright, not changing it up at all?
Nope.
Assassins have many keys to many places. But all of us share them. With the Shadow Wolf down and Bugbear slain too. Next is the Drinker of Minds.
That could be anybody.
I'll just sort of nod, look back at him, and then be like, I can get another 2 questions out if you want to clarify something.
He goes, really? Captain said it was 3. Good to know. Yeah. That last one. We need to know where this key rune hidden is. And, Kai, yes, he said the Mind Drinker.
I know I'm metagaming, just trying to make sure I heard that right.
Yep, yeah, I'm just letting you know while it's still... when I see it, so I don't forget. He goes, we weren't aware of him being part of some sort of League of Assassins. If we can get any more information about that or where the key rune might specifically be, a better way into Rixmani would do wonders for our scouting parties.
Then I'll talking to the guard and say, do you want me to ask where the Mind Drinker is?
Yeah. Or even what the Mind Drinker is.
I'm just gonna sort of nod and say, let me see how cryptic he is. Then we'll go from there, and then I will ask, where is the Mind Drinker?
Underground in a library filled with stones. Runes are etched in place of words. And minds are eaten in place of flesh.
I'm just gonna look back at the guard and say, I don't know if you have jurisdiction in the Underdark, but that's what I got.
Yes, unfortunately, me too. It's hard enough that we're going to be going into Rakdos territory, moving into Golgari territory at the same time. Guild Pact will never approve it. Last question. What is the Mind Drinker? Not just
All right, then.
is it just some sort of cannibal or an actual creature?
I could go for what is the Mind Drinker, but he may just respond in assassin. Should I instead go with something like, what species is the Mind Drinker, or what does the Mind Drinker look like?
You clearly have more experience speaking with the dead. Unsurprising. Yes, we do want specifics, so what it looks like, what species, any specific details we can get about it.
Then I will ask what the Mind Drinker looks like.
Purple skin, wreathed in shadows. A face. Not humanoid, not animal, but aberrant. Claws that reach out and grab their victims. And a mouth that sucks out the brains.
Alright, I still have not ruled out Jerry.
And as he kind of like finishes that statement, you see as the body kind of like jerks back and then falls completely still and unmoving, collapsed against the chains, and is no longer responding to the magic of Speak with Dead.
I'll sort of nod and then do like a few more things, like set him right, and then just sort of like stand back up, look at the guard, and say, "Well, I hope it was useful for you."
Well, I think this is finally enough to pin Yoser. Although, well, I'm sure he'll be a casualty coming up anyway. But knowing that there's some sort of assassins guild that interfaces with the Undercity, that's new. That was something worthwhile. And so while this was happening, Gideon, I assume, did you kind of follow the same procedure of executing Romthi and having Veronica ask some questions?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so he gave you a list of a few questions as well. And it seems to follow a fairly similar theme. So it starts with, ironically enough, where is Krenko? And you get the response, the Goblin King has left our city. Now he is with the Blood Mother. The second question is, who is the Blood Mother? Following that first one. And she goes, third daughter of the Lord of Riots. Third to complete his trial. Third to take his blood. Third of the Blood Witches. Hikara. Third question is... Sorry, I have to keep going between notes.
Okay.
Third question. How do we get into Rixmati? There are many paths into the city of demons. Join the cult. Perform for the Lord. Gain the favor of the Lizard King. Or gain the key that lets you in. Fourth question is, where is the key? And it's just a straight response, I don't know. And fifth is, where is Lord Rakdos? And she goes, the Lord of Riots, the Demon King, has slept for many years, but now he will awake. And that is when Romthi's corpse kind of slinks against the chains, falling silent.
Hmm.
And Alec kind of like calls out to you. All right, Gideon, we just wrapped up. Did you get your questions done?
Yes, indeed I did.
All right. We have one more for this. Which one of you clerics would like to make a few extra gold?
And I'll just sort of like slowly walk up and be like,
What the
oh, that is feedback. I'll just be like, well, I am available.
Yeah, and Vronik was kind of coming over as well, but as you say that, he just kind of like waves his hand and go, like, go ahead. And you see as you come over to the side, and you see like a extremely gaunt man, whose skin is kind of like a pale yellow, and he is thin to the point where his like ribs are like sticking out against his skin, and it doesn't look like there is really any flesh beneath. And you know what? I think I can. I think you should be able to see that now. But
what
like
the fuck?
his face is warped, and he has like no flesh, just this
Oh,
skin that is torn back against his bones. And as you approach, like he kind of looks up at you with these like dark black unblinking eyes, and he just goes, "Have you finally come to accept the good mother?" And Alec just goes, "We cannot get any information out of him normally. He just keeps repeating the same strange religious lines. We're hoping that magic might be able to get some better answers out of it, although I didn't realize that all of the answers would be so cryptic."
Have
This
you
is-
tried Zone of Truth? However, that might be an issue because if he believes it to be true, he can still answer in the same ways.
That's the issue we found. We can compel him to speak truth, but we cannot compel him to answer the questions we've asked.
And I'll just like ask, can I see the questions you have for him?
Yes, of course. And it is a number of questions. One, what is causing the plague? 2, what cult do you belong to? 3, who is the mother of life? 4, where is the mother of life? 5. What is your cult's goal?
I'll just sort of nod and I'll say, I might, if you wish to do speak with dead, it might be best that he doesn't have a bad opinion of me. So you might hear me say some strange things to try to get him on my side. I'll say that into his off to the side, into his ear, away from this guy, and then I'm going to walk up and then sit cross-legged across the bars from him and just ask, I've never heard of her. Who is the mother?
And he kind of just looks back at you with these unblinking eyes and goes, "Ah, yes, yes. Someone who wishes to join the mother. Oh, no, not you. You are child of another. You cannot be of the mother of life. You have spoken to a different one. You have spoken to the broken halo. No, not you, not you."
I'm just gonna look back at the guard and just shrug my shoulders and then look back towards him and say, "What is speaking? I do not think speaking is adoption, is it?"
Oh, but you've been chosen. One cannot follow two. One must follow one, or one must follow none. You cannot join the Sandspawn. You belong to another. Soul laid claim. Body unfit to bear young.
How do you know I'm including? I'm just gonna sort of say, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I was interested in hearing about this mother. She seems like a wondrous figure from what you've said.
Pat, your feedback coming from you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been trying to fix it. It's not working.
Go.
And
Yeah, fucking mute yourself, you piece of shit.
he just goes, and he kind of just responds to you.
I'm turning my mic sensitivity up.
What a shame. You do seem interested. But I cannot betray the secrets of the greatest mother to one of her sisters. No. 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 No, 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 not you, not you, not you, not you, not you, not you.
Connor, I think he wants you.
I'm just gonna sort of nod and say, but if I wanted to understand more, is there someone else I could go to ask?
You could
Are there other
always...
children?
There are many other children. Oh, so many. So many children. I am but one. I am nothing. I am but of many spawn, and I will spawn many more. But you must not know. You cannot know. You cannot know until your mother is dead. Kill. Yes, kill your mother. Then you can follow mine.
Do you know how to do this?
No. The forbidden knowledge. No one knows how to kill one of the endless mothers. I cannot tell you how to kill the Glintai. I cannot tell you how to kill the Dune Brood.
But is there someone who could?
Forbidden knowledge cannot be shared.
It cannot be shared, but if it is knowledge, that means it can be learned. Do you know where to learn this?
Your mother is one of knowledge. Mine is not one of knowledge. Your mother is one of knowledge. That's why I cannot speak knowledge to you. You're a follower of knowledge. I am a follower of life. And life is the greatest of the endless. Life. Yes. Yes, I am one of many, and many will be of me.
I had a friend that heard about you. Do you know where I could bring her to learn more about this?
I will speak to her if she has no mother. If she has no other mother, she will be called.
I'm just gonna sort of slowly back up and whisper into Tava's ear and just say, "Well, I think you're acclaimed." And then I'm just gonna turn around and go over here and then just be like,
And
as
as
you
you walk
said,
back, he's just like, "Yeah, I told you, right?"
I just sort of nod and say, "The issue is, if we cast Speak with Dead, how he may just answer the same riddles." Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of stop and think for a few seconds.
And while he's thinking, I'll speak up and be like, "Did we at least learn anything from a nice point?" And go, "That one."
Assassin's Ring. Some tentacles aberration is the remaining assassin in the Underdark. Few other effects. I'll just pull out probably whatever notes I was taking along it. I'm sure you could talk to your coworker.
Yeah,
well, that's who I was trying to speak to. But
Alec kind of responds. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, definitely more cryptic than we were hoping, but I think we got enough to pin down Yoser. I don't think we're going to be able to get his key rune, which was the primary goal. But we finally know where to look for the last angel corpse. Somewhere in an underground bunker, a mechanical beast of some sorts."
guys go, "What?"
Yeah, well, right, you're new to this precinct's barracks. This guy was a assassin working for Rakdos. Lately, let's just say his targets got a bit more intense. We finally caught him after he took down one of our battle force angels. We were hoping to find out where the corpse was hidden, so that we could prove it was him that it was linked to. And, I don't know, some riddle about underneath a Goblin King's headquarters, there's a mechanical beast, and that's where it's hidden.
My eyes are just fucking wide. I'm like, did either of you take notes on this?
No, I'll just pull up notes. Of course, I can pull up a copy, so I'll have to charge you for the paper. Yeah,
I just go, can I just look at it for a moment?
of course.
And I look at it and look at the part about the mechanical beast and that, and I go, this is actually something. And I hand it back to Fawks and go, "I think I may need to have another word with the captain."
I'll just nod, and then, well, I'm paid to do this, so I'll look back at Alec. Are you gonna do the honors, or?
He goes, first, and you see as he, goes back and digs around a little bit and goes, put one of these on, and like he pulls out from a crate like a bandana, and you see as he starts tying it around his face, and he goes to like everyone in the room and goes, "We're not really sure how it spreads yet, but I don't think any of us want to catch it."
Fair enough. Now I'm just gonna stay back here.
Also fair. And then as you guys put on the bandanas, he opens the door and stabs the person in the chest, and you see, as I believe was once described to you, the body kind of collapses, and pouring out of it is not blood, but a steady stream of crystallized sand.
What in the fuck?
But over the next few seconds, Fawks, you are trained to see when life leaves the body. And he kind of collapses, and you can see as the soul is just hanging around in the air for a few moments. Are you going to cast Speak with Dead?
Yeah, I'll speak with Dead.
All right. And what are you going to ask it?
I will ask it the questions he handed me because I am paid to do a job, so I'll do it, damn it.
All right. So that will start with where is the cult? And he goes, our spawn, the sand spawn. The sand spawn, they spawn from where the sand mother, the mother of life, was trapped, where she was held, where she is stuck. But the church could not stand tall forever. The crypts must fall, and now we grow there, in the crypts that collapsed when the mother was sealed. The second is, who is the mother of life? And he mostly starts spouting off like the same kind of nonsense as he was before of all those things, but you do get the piece of information. He does specifically say, greatest of the five, sealed by the guild pact. Where is the mother of life? Down, down, down. We fill the crypts, but the crypt door is blocked by those who protect the door. We can't get through the door. She is behind the door, and the door is sealed. But we don't have what we need to get through the door. The door cannot be opened by us because we have the pure blood, and the door rejects the pure blood, and the guards have no pure blood. The guards don't have pure blood. They don't have blood at all, so they cannot open the door. They guard the door, and we can't stop them yet. What is the cult's goal? We serve the endless mother, the mother of life. We serve her. We are born of her, and her spawn are born of us, and we will make more. We will make all of the children that she cannot make while she is sealed, and then when we have enough, we will free her, and when she is freed, all will be her conduit, bringing more spawn into the world. And finally, I think I did do that out of order. I apologize. But
Oh no.
Finally, we have shit, I am blanking. So we did, where is where is the cult? Where is the mother of life? Who is... We did not do who is the mother of life. That is it. So, oh, she is kindness and she is life. She brought life to Ravnica. She brought life across many planes, but she was sealed here. She is the one who is the mother of us all. We are not grateful. No, we reject her gifts. We seal her away. Only the enlightened children know that she is the one who we have to thank for everything. And that is the information you get out of this guy before he completely fades away.
Okay.
So on that happy note, what would everybody like to do?
I'm just gonna walk out, turn to Alec, and say, I believe it was arranged for me to take the corpses of the two Rakdos. That's why I'm not sure I won't.
And he goes, yeah, the captain sent down a heads up that you'd be taking, for a cut of your payment, you'll be taking the corpses. So, Veronica, here's your pay, and you see as he hands over some pay to Veronica, and then, as you are buying the corpses intact, you're getting a little bit less, but he does hand you 150 gold.
Orzhov cleric, would you mind coming with me?
I'll just nod. Yes. Something else from your captain or whatever.
Yes, I believe some of the information we've found for these interrogations may be of interest. Gideon, would you like to come as well? I believe you and I are involved in this. Is she gone?
Oh, yes, I'm coming.
Oh, you're with Pat. Okay, for a second I was like, wait, she's not in Discord. Yeah.
All right, and you know what? I think we have spent a lot of time on this. We are going to hop over to the rest of the party and
That's fair.
give Pat and Vinny a chance to do some playing of the game. I apologize for this.
Can the rest of the party really do anything in this situation?
The thing is, once we pull out my two corpses, of course, I think we're good just to leave, and maybe we can hold the conversation until we get outside if we want to do that.
Yeah, you know what? That is fair, because last session, Escher was mostly looking for a safe house to get William to. Yeah, and the three... You're the only one here who was.
Oh, is Lizzie not here?
Well, she kind of is. She's sick, so she's mostly just listening in.
She wasn't feeling good.
Gotcha.
Can I say that I have a oil vial, like from one of the oil vials I spread a few sessions ago, an empty one?
Empty vial, absolutely, yeah.
Then I'm going to use my free one-a-day cast of Unseen Servant, hand it to that, and basically have it scoop up some of the crystal sand and seal it.
All right.
Interesting. I'm sure Escher will like it.
Yeah, you could have gotten me for any of this.
And I'll just turn to the Boroscar member who probably sees me do it, and I'll just say, I know a doctor who's working on this. We'll see if this sample provides any help.
Fair enough. Hey, I would recommend not breathing it in. And he kind of points up to the bandana wrapped around his face. Once again,
I will.
We still don't really know how it spreads. So, although if it's some religious thing, I don't know, maybe it's a ritual. Who knows?
I'll nod
I
and like
turn
ask
towards
for
him and
a bandana to wrap the vial in to keep it like contained.
Gotcha. And yeah, like the oil vials do have a pretty steady stopper, so you can get it like completely sealed.
yeah, and I turn to the guard over here. I just go, "Oh, could you unlock the door?"
Yes, so Ravnica, are you done? And he nods, and then Alec comes over, briefly unlocks the door, opens it for you all, and kind of ushers you out. He goes,
Yeah.
"Thank you for your work."
I just say we carry the corpses up.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm not-
I can help you with one of them.
Yeah.
If
I'm not gonna bother like dragging them between scenes. We're just gonna say that you have the two corpses with you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Or actually, you have Balim with you. He specifically says that you cannot take Romfi.
Oh.
She's she's a bit weird. She comes back after a few days.
Oh, not, and then I'll say, well, you got any other ones? I thought I was getting two.
And he kind of just shrugs and goes, "If you've got a doctor, you can take the cultists as well."
In that case, I might kind of have the bed sheet he was on. That might be a good way to contain it, at least.
Sure. And he kind of like helps you wrap up the corpse of the cultist in the bed sheet and kind of ties it up, and you are able to take that corpse as well.
All right. And yeah, I'll do that.
All right. And you are all heading back to talk to Captain Machine?
Yes.
And I won't bring the corpses into his office.
You will?
I will not.
Okay.
I'll just sort of like, you mind if I deposit these nearby to the people as I sign out?
And they just kind of like look at you and go, "I guess so."
Just don't want to carry them into your superior's office. Might be seen as a bit unprofessional.
And they just like look at you. This is obviously not the normal protocol for bodies being removed from the prison, but they just kind of like look at you, look at each other, shrug, and go like, "I mean, there's a chair over there. You can set them up."
I'll just put them both on the ground next to the chair, then I'll go in.
And you know what? What is your passive perception?
Decently high. Or is that on the sheet?
14? Yeah, that is high enough that you notice as you're setting them down, there is a kind of like a bulletin board across from where the two guards are sitting. It is specifically a wanted board. And on that board, you see a familiar face. You see the face of your previous handler, Minkus.
I'm just gonna sort of like suppress any sort of surprise and sort of nod, and then like look at all the bulletins, and then I'll turn back to the guards and be like, "Do you have any to-go copies of these?"
And they kind of like fish through the desk for a moment and go, "Yeah, if anybody looks familiar, you ever have any information, well, I know what motivates your guild. There's monetary rewards for any information that leads to an arrest."
I'll sort of nod and like, I'm just gonna, just so I don't have to do it, I might just be like, "Hey, unseen servant, can you copy all these to a sheet for me?" And then go and do my meeting.
Yeah, I mean, they like hand you like four quick
Oh.
Like they're like they have like a stack of like wanted posters basically, and they hand you four, the four that you see. Minkus is the only face that you recognize on the board now that you're looking at it. But
Yeah, I'm just
you
gonna
do
take them all.
all right. And after that, you all head into the office of Captain Print-A-Machine. So, it all went well. Job's complete.
Tough, I think he values your input more than mine.
Fair enough.
Yes, the prisoners have been taken care of.
In addition to some valuable information, we've also got the cleric here has happened to get something more interesting than anything.
And he just looks at Fawks and he says, "Of course he has."
Well, no, it could be. Well, I'll let you determine for yourself. I think Gideon and I here know the resting place of the battle angel. I would know the better word for that, but off the top of my head, I don't.
Yeah, they're just called
Noah's
Battle
Guild.
Force Angels.
Battle Force. I almost got it. We may know the resting place of the Battle Force angel that was recently assassinated by that now dead assassin.
And he kind of perks up and goes, "Really? You were able to get a clear answer out of it? Wonderful."
And I'll kind of like step forwards and put a hand on the table and just be like, "It's in that pit where the mechanical is."
And he just like lets out a sigh and goes, "All right, that'll make it easier to get a few soldiers to go along with you."
Yes, and to me, and I'll step back again and just go like, it's possible that Krenko was associated with these assassins.
Seems like he's associated with everyone.
Fair enough.
All right. I will try to drum up some support for that endeavor. If you head back there, I mean, sooner rather than later will probably prevent it from being cleared out by any remnants of his gang.
Indeed.
But if you can wait a few days, I'm sure I can spare a few soldiers once they're done with their briefing for the upcoming events.
Of course. Just figured it was worth letting you know.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, we're not on lockdown anymore since it was determined that the Krenko thing was just, let's call it a mistake. As far as we can tell, no one's broken in. You're all free to go.
Very well. I just give like a nod, and then I start heading out. Yes, Clole. Yeah, I just called you Clole. Your name's Clole now. Yeah.
Is there anything else you all would like to do at the barracks?
Well, I hate to be a bother, but my uncle has not paid me for that revivify.
And are you going to say that to him?
I'm just gonna sort of like hold back and say, I hate to be like this, but I did expend the necessary components to cast that revivify.
And he just looks at you and goes, "I'm not paying for the spell, considering I didn't get the result. But," and you see, like, he has this weapons rack behind his desk, and one of them is like it's kind of strange to see it here because the Legion is very uniform. But you see a very gaudy, very, like, it is like a gilded and gem-encrusted scimitar. and he like takes the hilt, pulls a diamond off of it, and flips it over to you and goes, "One last remnant from when I was part of the family."
Oof.
I'm assuming it looks to be enough to cast Revivify.
It is approximately 300 gold worth of diamond.
And
How convenient.
I'll just sort of nod and say, I thank you. And if you get your wish, I hope you have a good rest of your life.
With how things are going, probably not. But just don't fall down the same path that the rest of our family does. I know you're already along it, but there are things in the Orzhov they don't want you to know.
I'll sort of nod and then I learn worse things each day. I can attest to that. And I'll like turn to leave.
And he goes, "You can always choose to lead a better life, Fawks. It's not easy, but I'm proof it can be done."
I'll just sort of nod and smile and walk out.
All right.
Anyway. Doo-doo-doo.
As you all head out of the barracks, you see, like, you're able to head out no problem now that it's no longer on lockdown. And you see, kind of like waiting off to the side is Kai. Or maybe you don't see because he's hiding. I don't know.
No, I kind of just like went far enough away from the angels that they don't think I'm pestering the barracks.
Fair enough. Like, yeah, so you see Kai, like, sitting on a bench, like, half a block down, far enough away from the barracks where he's not bringing any ire from the angels.
I'm good. Sort of like as we like walk out, I'll like talk to like Topher, like, say, you two burrows sure are something. What about that mission you're talking about? And I'll just like keep on walking by and be like, I could be a real asset if you'll take me for that at least.
Indeed, it seems like you're quite valuable.
And as we get plausible deniability and we get out of range, I'll actually meet up and talk normally.
Yeah.
Sure. And I assume Kai kind of just, like, a few feet behind starts trailing behind you all.
Zach, as we're leaving,
Oh, you gotta get the bodies!
can I tell those, like, I assume we had to get past those angels that were guarding the door to get out?
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell them that the lockdown's over now?
They're aware.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's all I needed to know.
Instead, I would like you to imagine me and Tob were both carrying two bodies wrapped in sheets and just talking about, thank you, good old Boros Legionnaire, for helping me in transporting these. You're doing a great service. I will ensure you that this is checked by a doctor to see if there are any more breakthroughs from the plague that could be discovered by this poor victim.
Also, I'm not carrying that fucking plague-ridden one. I'm carrying Bleem. No way am I carrying that one.
Yeah, I'll carry it, I
All right.
suppose.
And so you are all, where are you all meeting up following this? Because I know, like, throughout this time is when the rest of the party was out searching for potential hideouts or, like, safe houses. So did you, I don't remember if you agreed to meet up somewhere, but I assume you did.
So the night market.
Yeah, so I mean, the normal
Yeah.
ones are Night Market or the Millstone. So either of those, if you would like to go to.
Yeah. I will return.
Oh God, he's gonna return.
Yeah, I am. I gotta heat up a burrito.
I can imagine Tavro saying that.
So
We would go back to the millstone because that's where we departed in the first place.
Yeah.
Firebolt is used for one thing and one thing only: heating burritos.
Heat up
I mean,
the burrito
That's
and
just
the millstone.
objectively false.
I want to say the night market because isn't it closer to here? So we're not using up 2 hours to walk back and forth.
But where are the other ones looking? Around here?
I thought so. Yeah, near the Gore House.
Mm.
So you're not particularly near the Gore House right now. The Gore House is not super far from the Millstone Tavern. It's very close to the Night Market. Both of those are fairly far from the Second Precinct barracks. You are like by far the furthest. You're pretty much as far as you can be without being in pure Selesnya territory. From the Gore House.
Okay.
But both the Night Market and the Millstone are within a 30-minute walk of the Gore House. So it's really up to you guys which one you want to meet up at. Like, whatever you decide, we will just retcon and say you decided that already.
Yeah, fine.
To the tavern or the night market.
That's what I'm asking all of you.
I feel like we should probably go back to the tavern because I think that's near where everybody else was looking.
Motherfucker. Have I been muted this whole time?
Yep.
Just do the fucking market. It doesn't matter. Just there's less people there that'll eavesdrop on us. Just do that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Counter set it first.
Night Market, it's it's about 11:30 when you all get there, so it's the middle of the day market. Let me move
Even better,
this
less people.
over. Oh, look, everybody's here. Why is Clara dead?
She's always been dead.
She's sleepy.
As eventually, whenever we get there at the same time as Escher, I'm just gonna sort of, saunter up, place the body bag on the floor, look at him, and say, "I don't suppose you need another live sample."
Yeah, see, Escher, Clara, and Aldrich were just having a good time. They didn't really find a decent hideout. They had a rough day. They stopped to get snacks. They probably have, like, ice cream or something just sitting on a bench, having a good chat, and then you guys just walk up, drop corpses in front of them, and ruin all of their days.
To be fair, I think both of them potentially getting into a fight with Boros guards in the middle of the day started out ruining their day.
Yeah, but we made up for it. We're having a good time now. We're relaxing a little bit, and then they drop a corpse in front of us. So, wait, what is this? You're just dropping a body in front of me?
Well, I don't suppose you needed another test subject. Well, sample. Cadaver. Someone that was infected with the plague.
Escher is just fucking stupefied at what you just said and genuinely doesn't know how to respond to that. It's gonna take him a second. But once he kind of comes to his senses, he goes, "Well, I'm going to take the corpse to mean that your dealings with the Boros didn't go well?"
I did the job I was required to, and I am contractually obligated not to revive them. However, I will say that one of them does have a cast of gentle repose on it, so if someone were into 10 days to revive them, not me of course, because I've agreed not to, but say someone else got their hands on the corpse and revived them, I suppose that would just happen. But I do not think that is the direction we may want to take.
How many corpses do you have with you right now?
2.
Just the 2. They wouldn't let me take the 3rd.
And how have you
And
gotten this far without being questioned, if I may ask?
I am in the guild that deals with the dead, am I not?
Asher just kind of shrugs. Are you?
Technically. Partially.
know you were Golgari?
There's 2 of us, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly what he would have been thinking. He's like, I didn't know you were with the Golgari. Well, considering the rest of us are not, we should probably bring these somewhere more secluded, which unfortunately we haven't had much luck in securing. But second point, did you mention this corpse has been infected?
Indeed. All of its blood is... I'm just gonna have, my unseen servant pop back out carrying the little vial of crystal blood.
I thought you said you could only do that once a day.
It's a ritual. It doesn't last an hour.
So
It lasts 1 hour. I don't know if it took that long.
Night market would have been just about an hour. So you know what? We'll say you have like 5 minutes left on it.
I'll just say, but you might want to take that. I don't want to touch it directly.
And Asher takes it and goes, yes, I think that's better in my hands than yours. And he just kind of sits back down, takes his glasses off, kind of like rubs between his eyes and goes, and you didn't take any precautions to prevent yourself from getting infected, did you?
I'm just going to sort of like, with a bemused look, be like, I can prepare cure disease tomorrow. Like, sort of like very confused as to why I would take precautions when I have the cure.
If that worked, do you really think there'd be an arcane plague running through the city?
I mean, I did wear it as I'm still wearing the bandana, and then I'm also, wearing gloves as part of my armor, so I'm just gonna be like, perhaps I should clean these afterwards.
Burn them. It's better than nothing. Do any of you have a problem with needles? Or any kind of puncturing?
Why do you ask?
I'm going to need blood from all of you just to be safe. No objections, then.
I'll just sort of like present my face, which is the only part of me not covered in armor.
Not now, you... Let's find somewhere to bring these so we can set up. I have a few locations in mind that aren't ideal, but they're at least empty for the time being. We should be able to get some peace of mind if the quieter members of the group are willing to... What would the word be? Stand on lookout?
That's actually like 3 words.
I'm not going to respond to that. Nevertheless, I can show you what the 3 of us have found. If you all deem it acceptable, we can begin working on this immediately.
Then I think it's best we head there now. Then.
So I remember there was something about like an abandoned storefront. I guess that's probably where I would kind of take them and kind of let them know that I don't know how safe this place is, but the Rakdos hopefully won't be raiding here anytime soon. And as long as we don't draw the Boros' attention, they won't come by. However, they don't like. We have to be careful because the Boros don't like people snooping around abandoned buildings in this district.
Yep. 1 second.
I would also tell them that Clara and Aldrich both almost got in trouble with the Boros and nearly escaped it. But if we have 2 members of the Boros with us, that might be enough to convince them that this is like a Boros operation and not to interfere. So the 2 Boros people kind of have to stay here at all times, or at least one of them does.
Fair enough.
So we're going to do a little bit of theater of the mind because I forgot to load this map in.
Wow, trash, garbage. How
Oh
dare
my
you?
God.
I'm
You've been a great
suing.
GM so far, Zach, but this fucking ruins it.
This killed it for me. My immersion is broken. I want my money back.
Yeah, Tavro dies instantly from heartbreak.
Well, that's just sad, I guess.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, if you want, you have that like bakery one. We could just say that is the one we're in because it's at least it's a building. You know, just take all the NPCs out.
No, the sad part is that you fucking believe me. Of course, I have a map for this. You think I'm not having maps for everything?
Did you literally just upload it?
We just uploaded it.
Shh.
Buddha of the mind. Watch me as I conjure it from the abyss. That's your cue, Zach.
I'm just moving the tokens over. Give me a moment.
The room with 5 corners.
Yep. So you are now in the kind of alley outside of the building, and Vinny, you know it's this one on the left.
Okay. Come on then. Let's take a look and see. Get it set up and oh my god, the lighting. Oh. Whoa, what the hell?
I didn't think it would be that bad, but those are the crate. You know what? Let me just get rid of the crate terrain lights. I did not
I was
think it would
gonna say-
be.
Yeah, it looks like somebody sharpied it.
Yeah, did not think it would be that janky.
What's the glowing table?
Yeah, you never made it into the building last time, so you didn't actually see that before.
Is that
There-
actually glowing?
Yep.
I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna as we kind of walk in, Asher's gonna be like, hold on a second.
It's
We
our
cased the place. We cased the place from the outside. Somehow, some of us didn't fail to mention this, and he's gonna come over here and investigate what the fuck this is.
Weren't you the one who found the storefront?
They're the sneaky ones, not me.
Guys, it's the puppy from Quad.
They're also the ones that got caught. So, what is
But
this?
yeah, so you kind of like head into this building, and this definitely seems to be like an old storefront that kind of gave way over time into just being a storage place. Like you can see by the boxed crates that are just kind of staying around. There's just like a full maze of crates. They kind of like vary in size. There's a bunch of like various brands. But yeah, from one stack of crates, or rather it's like a long wooden table is glowing with this violet light. And it almost looks like there are like the light looks as if it was from candles burning on the table, but there are no candles. And as you look at the table, it is a bit strange. So it's a long table, and you notice as you're investigating, there are leather like strap restraints tied to it. And on the surface, there are a few like knives, and then near the collar restraint at the top, repeatedly, you can see the same burn mark carved into the table.
Like, what do you mean?
Like a symbol has been burned near where the neck restraint was,
Oh,
and it was
okay, what's the
burned
symbol?
multiple times.
What is it?
Let me just... I'm just gonna put it in the Discord.
Neck restraint, magic table. It is the puppy.
Cool.
I'm waiting.
I
have I ever
put
seen
it
that before?
there. Everyone can give me an Arcana check. Fawks and Aldrich can give it with advantage. I will roll for Aldrich and Clara.
Hey, I'm the best.
There we go. Couldn't open my character sheet for a second. Who needs advantage, baby?
Cool. So I think at this point, everybody has briefly glanced this symbol once before. Two of you have seen it a few times, but based on that Arcana check, you still don't quite know what it means. But this symbol is on the scroll that Fawks has on the outside.
Does Escher recognize that?
You would recognize, like, at a glance, like, oh, yes, I've seen this. You have no idea what it means. But you have
but like,
seen
he knows it's the one from his scroll?
Yes, especially you, because you have keen mind. Like, you know, like, you've seen that scroll, you've memorized it, you put the pieces together. You still have no idea what it means, but like, you see this symbol burned repeatedly into this table and into like the neck restraints, and you're like, oh shit, that's the same one from the scroll.
Escher just kind of turns around, points to Fawks, and goes, "You outside now."
1 second, as I finish going over and depositing the corpses off in the corner. Oh, hello, Clara.
Oh, she's out here. I can't move her.
And actually, everyone who like was looking at that table can also give an investigation check just to see if you find anything else other than the immediately noticeable stuff.
Another 17.
Same.
I got
Holy
a 14.
shit.
You got an 8
Same.
on this.
Holy
On the
shit! Everyone is just hitting 17s. Oh, and then there's a 24, of course. You just had to ruin it, didn't you?
Had to have a +8 to investigation.
So, yeah, all of you actually see it pretty easily. It is kind of hanging down underneath the table. Like, you can see it flapping underneath. But you look under the table, there is a piece of parchment with various arcane symbols on them and instructions in a language that I'm actually pretty sure none of you know. It is not common, elvish, Vidalcan, goblin, druidic, minotaur, giant, celestial. Actually, Fawks, you can tell, this is in the same kind of like demi-celestial corrupted, like the old celestial script.
Yeah.
You still don't understand how to read it, but you do recognize the symbol pattern. And this is when Escher pulls you outside.
Yes. As I'll just be like,
Wait a second, and then like,
that looks familiar, but not.
After I say that, I'm gonna go back inside.
yeah, it's still just in the scroll case on my back.
Sure.
I mostly, yeah. I after what I saw last time, I'm being extra cautious. So, so what is this? These scrolls and things that are here?
So there is, this is clearly some sort of like ritualistic table. And underneath it, you find like pinned on the underside of the table a piece of parchment that was kind of hanging down a little bit and drooping, which is why you were able to see it. And it has arcane sigils and like paragraphs written out in a language that you do not understand.
Okay. And do any of us speak it? Only kind of Fawks.
Only kind of Fawks. You know what? I think also kind of
Celestial.
Tavro. Yeah, also kind of Tavro.
I would kind of hand it off to one of them then if they mention that and be like, work on this, see what you can find. Also, yeah, I'll probably tell Aldrich maybe he wants to investigate the rest of the building for a little bit. If he's here, which I assume he is.
Yeah. Fox will just say, before we go poking too much, perhaps we should clear the rest of the building, make sure this is as safe as you said it was.
There's another room.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
you can.
Tavro, we're gonna need a second as you enter that room.
Fair enough. I think I can see blood in the corner.
Kinda. So as you step through this doorway, you kind of step into a back room that is somewhat incomprehensible to you. It's like a normal room at first. There's like some pillars and boxes, but as you look into the corner, there is frankly a geometric impossibility. Along the back wall, like the back corner, there is a fifth corner to the room, despite the room still seeming square. And you can see as hanging around this like fifth corner is a like red, like it's like a red haze that is kind of just filling up the corner of the room. And looking closely in the darkness of the room, you can see pale ghostly figures passing crates between each other back into that corner of the room where the crates dissipate into this red haze.
Whoa, dude.
And I also need you to give me a stealth check as you enter this room.
I
Everyone
don't-
knows I'm the stealthiest.
I don't suppose we're implementing the Cthulhu mythos checks in this, are we?
No.
Give me just a moment.
No, this
I
is not
forget,
Call of Cthulhu as much as there are some eldritch
Breastplate.
elements to the game.
Breastplate medium armor doesn't actually impose disadvantage on stealth, does it?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
And as you like kind of just you're not expecting anything in here, so you're not being
Yeah.
particularly stealthy. Like, you just kind of like walk into the room, not thinking anything about it. And as you do, you see these kind of like ghostly hands passing boxes back and forth. And right as you enter, like you see them kind of stop passing them back and forth. And over the next second, the like spectral hands that you saw just completely fade out.
Is the red haze still there?
The red haze is still there.
So, everybody,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
either I just had a stroke, or there's ghosts here.
I think you stroke.
It wouldn't be the first time that I think you've had one.
But, like,
Also, ghosts aren't exactly abnormal.
okay, but come in here. There's more than just ghost. Sorry.
Step aside. I've dealt with them.
Kai,
I've cleared-
can you go deal with this, please? Thank you.
Look at that corner.
And as you all enter in, you see the like same thing, this impossible geometry, as there is a fifth corner in the square room. This like strange red haze just surrounding it and like bending it in and out of reality. And Fawks, I need you to give a wisdom saving throw as soon as you pass this through this door.
Yay!
He did it.
Damn.
You did indeed give a wisdom saving throw.
Returning so soon. Clearly, you know that I have more to offer.
What the fuck?
As I'm just gonna sort of like stop mid walk and then just like freeze in the doorway.
Do we hear this?
No.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Thomas goes, yeah, see, I wasn't kidding. There's a big fucking Fred corner. Thinking
Yes.
that's what you stopped at.
It is quite odd.
Have you decided to serve me yet?
And I'm just gonna sort of. Am I still in full control of my body?
Yes.
I'm just gonna look over to Tavro. I'm just gonna say, we have to leave.
Okay.
You just came back, leaving so soon. Clearly we are drawn together. You will be a child of mine, and I will impart on you the knowledge that I have. In return, you will serve me. Isn't that a wonderful deal?
Fawks does not serve, Fawks leads. And I'm just gonna turn around and start leaving.
And I'm just gonna look at Kai and be like, what the fuck was he just talking to?
I have no idea.
As you step out of the room, the connection immediately cuts, Fawks, and like your mind is back to being your own.
I'm gonna check one of the boxes.
Sorry. It's hard to do this concurrently. Kai and Tavro, I also need you to give wisdom saving throws, but you're gonna get some different effects.
Wisdom.
Yeah, so not great all around.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna start with Kai, and as
All
you
right.
as you step through the doorway, you're all right. But as soon as you see Fawks kind of like start talking to something in his head, Marilathia starts screaming. And actually, this is strange because this has really not happened before. All of you can hear the shriek of a dragon coming from within this room.
All of us?
All of you.
Huh. Peculiar.
And Kai, you just start hearing in your head, "Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out."
And yeah, Kai will just sprint back out of this room.
Kai, is everything alright?
What did you find in there?
And sorry.
I have no fucking idea.
And around the same time, Tavro, you
You hear a worm scream.
I mean, yeah. You feel in your hand, like, where you kind of, like, clutch the worm heart as your connection to your newfound religion. You feel it start to burn in your hand. And, like, ever since you've, like, over the last few days, it's been, like, kind of a constant connection with it. It's a very subconscious, but you can always feel it. It starts burning in your hand, and you cannot, you cannot draw anything out of it. You cannot feel your connection to the worm heart in this room.
Ah. And I see the two of them fucking book it out of here. I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, I just closed the door myself. Get out. Get out.
And
Get out.
For all of you, as soon as you are out of that room and the connection with Fawks is broken, you're all, like, back to normal. Like, Tavro, you can feel your connection to the worm heart reestablish, and the divine energy that you've recently begun to learn starts flowing back into you. And, like, Kai, you can hear as Marilathia kind of, like, apparates on your shoulder and, like, panting deeply, just goes, "Not in there, not in there. We are not ready for that."
What the fuck, Marilathia?
What has gotten into all of you? Are all of you really that frightened of some ghost?
You know what, Etcher, you should go in there. I think he'd love it in there.
Go with the ancient dragon that has been around since before the guild pack being scared as a bad sign.
Marilathia has been around since before the guild pact? Dang.
All dragons were.
Actually, Fox. Fox.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, not knowing whatsoever what the others saw, I'm just imagining Fawks turn back and just announce to everyone, "We're leaving."
Fox, I expected this from the others, but I'm rather surprised. Does this specter have you as frightened as well?
It's deconsecrated grounds. If we stay here longer, we are just tempting worse fates.
Decon.
He
Explain.
downplays the connection he has.
And I just look back to Escher and go, it's not just ghosts. It's not just ghosts.
Fox, elaborate, please.
There are entities that predate the Guild Pact. One of them has control here. It would be best not to tempt them.
In an abandoned storefront, and you're so certain that you're not being deceived.
You know what, Escher, you should go in there. I think he'd really love it.
He kind of just goes, he'll go over, he kind of takes a peek in the door. Does he see anything?
As you peek through the door, like, you can see the same thing of the room with the impossible geometry, the red mist and haze coming out of this weird corner of the room. That you're a scientist. There's a,
Which
like
one?
this, like, back left.
Okay.
Oh wait, you don't have dark vision, do you?
No.
There's a little bit of light coming into this room from the glowing table. It seems like a pretty normal room from, like, the 5 feet that you can see.
I
There's nothing
cast
in there.
Sorry,
What?
you said you cast light on him?
Oh,
And
thank you.
that is 60 feet? 30 dim, 30 bright?
Yeah.
All right. That corner, you see as it's almost like where it would normally end in a corner. There's like another corner, and the two corners are phasing in and out of reality together with each other. And this red haze and mist is like keeping them in this state of like almost quantum limbo. And you're a scientist, like, yes, it's mostly biological, but like, you understand basic geometry. This is not possible. And even the magics that you know can't do stuff like this.
May I
And
see
I
it
got-
then?
You should
And
be
then
able to see
without-
now.
No, I can't.
Does your token not have vision? It does. And you have light.
yeah. I can't see anything in there. I see
would-
like a wisp of red,
Much
like
to
right
see in
here.
the first
Oh,
place.
well, yeah, it's an impossible geometry. How do you expect me to actually make proper art of it? I'm just saying, like, the little bit of red haze is...
Oh, I thought there was because like there's a whole corner of this missing. I thought there was like something hidden back there in the dark that I
No,
literally could
no,
not
no,
see
no.
that on- Oh, okay.
No, it's just
like,
how it is.
right now, like, your brain, like, your character's brain, like, sees the start of the red haze and can't comprehend anything beyond that. Yes, there are things beyond it. Your character cannot comprehend that right now.
No, I got that part. I just thought there was like literally like
Yeah.
something on the map to signify
And-
that.
And then I
Shut
put
up,
like my left hand on Escher's shoulder and then point in without actually like putting my arm through the door and being like, there were ghosts moving boxes into that thing. And then once we all stepped in there, bad things started happening.
Fascinating. Oh yeah, that's okay. So that's kind of what I thought it was gonna be.
Here, is that a bit clearer?
Yeah, like that. Okay. I thought there was like a portal or something. Okay, that makes more sense.
I mean, it kind of is. The ghosts were going in and out of it.
Yeah, so the ghosts were like passing in some of the crates that were there. And as they like passed in, the crates kind of dissolved into this red mist.
Huh. What a fascinating phenomenon. It is of an arcane nature that I don't believe I would be able to identify at the time, though luckily it is nothing inherent. It doesn't appear to be, whatever that phenomenon is, doesn't appear to be growing at all. It seems stagnant. Interesting. I wonder how such a phenomenon, I guess would be the best word for it. I wonder how it's gone unnoticed for so long, why nobody else would be in this establishment. You would think with something like that here, this would be a heavily contested spot between the guilds. Each one would be vying for control over something of that power, wouldn't they?
Maybe they haven't. Maybe they don't know it's here.
I find that hard to believe. The Rakdos have been having their way with the buildings in the local area quite a bit lately. As have the Boros. I'd be very surprised if neither of them discovered this.
Unless maybe they're finding it and dying.
Or, and he looks over to Fawks. Perhaps it wasn't here before.
This is a phenomenon. It's an entity. It does not want to be found, and we should leave.
Yes, phenomenon, entity, call it what you will. However, the symbol on that table, it does match the one on your scroll. Perhaps the proximity of that object reinvigorated the dormant arcana that lied within this place that was here previously. Personally, I might suggest leaving it here so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
I like Escher's idea.
Actually, Tavro, how good is your arm?
What, for baseball?
Well, I've seen you throw a spear fairly far. How far do you think you could throw a rolled up piece of paper, say.
Well, that's a bit different because, air friction and whatnot.
Yes, I know. I passed the physics classes. Regardless,
Me
how far
too.
do you think you could throw it? Wait, what?
I don't know, 30 feet?
Fawks seems convinced there's some kind of entity in that back room causing that arcane phenomenon. If that is the case, give it back what belongs to it so it is no longer of our concern.
I could try.
In the meantime, I'm going to... And you see Escher kind of gets down on the ground, and he's like fucking with the table. Can he move it at all?
What is your strength score?
Lol.
No, not with an 8.
Like, is there... Like, does it budge at all, or is it, like, attached to the ground?
You're able to, like, budge it a little bit, but, like, this is a, like, thick wooden table with metal on it, like, to hold in the straps. Like, Tavro could probably lift it. It is too much for you, other than, like, being able to kind of, like, push it at full strength and slide it a little bit on the ground.
I'm not trying to convey the wrong idea. I'm not trying to move, like, drag this thing or anything. I'm just purely trying to see if I can wiggle it and see if it's, like, a nail to the floor or anything.
It is not bolted to the ground.
Okay.
It's just
And he looks up-
heavy.
Then Escher kind of looks up to Tavro and goes, also, do you think you could carry this?
Perhaps.
We really should not be messing with the beings in here.
What are we gonna do with this table?
Escher kind of just looks back to Kai, frowns at him, and looks to Tavro. I would like the table. Do you think you can carry it?
What I mean is, what purpose do we have for this table? Why do we need to bring it with us? We don't.
Oh, this is an, I don't suppose any of you would be familiar with it, but tables such as these with the straps and the arcane light to them are benches that are highly sought after for medical procedures. The Simic actually popularized their use and invented such a thing. I've seen them use it for some of their more gruesome practices, but I've always wanted one myself, and this one's a bit damaged, but I suppose it will do. So,
I
you
will
think
not
you can do it,
carry
Tavro?
this everywhere we will go.
No, just back to my lab, so we have one.
How far away is your lab?
Good question. How far is it?
Tavro, you saw what was in there. Do not oblige this foolery.
How far away is like the Simic area where I'd be working?
You are... One second, let me check my map. About a 45-minute walk. You're actually not that far from it.
Yeah.
You're actually really close to the waterfront, which the Simic often use to transport cargo and things like that.
So not that far at all, and I'd be happy to pay you for your services.
And as Kai goes, like, Tavro, don't fall for this. Like, this is so stupid. And Tavro just turns around and goes, it is a really nice table.
It could help with my research.
Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. I had to check something.
Oh god.
Tavro, were you not advocating for getting the fuck out of here?
I was, but look at this.
Bring that being with us.
Oh, no, hold on. I'm just reading something.
Kai, you don't understand. It's made out of mahogany.
Yeah, it's real bloodstains.
We need to.
It's a table.
We have a task at hand. We need less distraction, and we need a place to regroup, plan, and figure out how we're gonna get into Rick's Mahdi. We don't need to be wandering all over damn district with tables and corpses and.
You're the one who brought an infected corpse to me. This would have only aided in my analysis of it. Well, the
I
place is
doubt
abandoned.
it. Can we leave?
Because you're
Tavro
not a
would like
scientist.
to cast enlarge on himself to carry the table.
Actually? Are you actually doing that?
Enlarge is a second level spell. You don't have that at level 1.
I do from the fucking worm heart.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, actually, it only lasts 1 minute. Never mind. Fuck this. I'm going. I forgot to check the duration.
Well, nobody else is using it. I can come back for it after. I'll have to deal with things in the dark, like some kind of, like the old days. Aldrich, are you the one leaving books all over the place?
What?
I don't know. They're all in there. There's just like books lying on the ground that say unknown. And there's one on top of Aldrich.
Oh, yep. I didn't think you could see those. Those are my journal entry notes, so that I can click on a part of the map and quickly see what notes I have there. It
that's
says
a neat
unknown
idea.
because you don't have permissions to see them, but apparently that does not stop them from showing up on your screen. I apologize for that.
I don't
Yeah,
think I see those.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's because I'm smarter than you all. Yeah.
All right, so where would you all like to go?
Well,
Or what would you like to do?
Since this place was too frightful for the lot of you, I suppose we can try the second option. There were other places we had found, right?
There were two other places
Yeah.
they weren't ideal. One of them was like still being actively used by a gang you found.
Yeah,
But,
not that one.
The other one was kind of just like, it was abandoned, but like flooded, and there were like vermin in it. Like it didn't seem inhabited by people, but there might be like some buggy boys that, I don't know, you either have to eradicate or Aldrich can join his hive or something.
That one.
Sounds
Um,
lovely.
Also, I know we usually try to end around 9:30 so that people can get home and stuff. So this might be a good place to end the session.
I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we can figure out where we're going this week.
Yeah, so end of session, Escher
Cool.
wants a table, and 3 of you are scared of the table.
Also, before we, actually, there was. Can I? One thing I forgot to ask. Was there anything else on the table, or is it just like restraints? Were there any like tools or anything on it?
There seemed to be a few like knives that were sheathed in like these like dark sheaths. It wasn't really clear if they were like ritualistic knives or just knives that happened to be left there, mostly because they were still in sheaths and you didn't really look into them.
Okay, because yeah, I probably wouldn't have. But if Tabro doesn't take the table, Escher would swipe those. He would just take them. He wouldn't even
Cool.
say anything. He'd just take them.
Until you can identify those, just put 2 black daggers in your inventory.
I was just gonna put medical knives, but oh, that's much different.
No, they're not like scalpels. They are like knives that are sheathed.
Oh, yeah, I'm still gonna take them. Better than nothing.
And I think we will leave it on, as you all exit that building, Merolathia kind of whispers in your ear, Kai, and goes, "We have to change our priorities a little bit." And I think that is a good place